It's our regular chat with Spratt. And Spratty, fair to say, there's been a bit happening. How did the operation go?
Yeah, hi Matt. Good to be back. I'm going pretty well now. The operation was 3 weeks ago to the day almost, and yeah, the recovery's going pretty well. I was released, I like to say, from Holland on the weekend, so I did have to spend 3 weeks up there. I had 5 days in the hospital. The surgeon was really happy with how the op went. I have four nice new scars. I have 10 centimeter one on my stomach, one in my groin, two on my leg. So quite an extensive op, quite a serious op. So yeah, I did have to stay the extra 2 weeks in Holland just to be there in case in case something went wrong. But pleased to say it's all been fairly smooth so far. Quite painful. I wasn't independent for a while, which I hate. So I had to try to become less stubborn and annoy the hell out of everyone around me. But I had great support, and I'm in a good place now.
You not independent would have been a real relationship tester. There's a few things that test relationships. That's one of them. The other is
Yep.
renovating a house.
Yeah, so yeah, that definitely tested things, trying to like let go of that. And I think I've just become more annoying. And yeah, I was really lucky that my coach came up for a couple of days, and his wife is at Team Osteo as well, Ellen. So she was there looking after me a bit. So yeah, I've had fantastic support the whole way through, and yeah, annoyed a lot of people probably, but yeah, really grateful for all the support I've had.
So going back a step, give us the breakdown of the injury and what was done in the operation without too much gore, because I've just had dinner and my stomach's a little sensitive.
All right, I'll the G version. Or so basically, I have iliac artery endofibrosis, which means that the artery that supplies blood to my legs has become really narrowed. And when I am riding or when I'm racing, doing efforts, I'm basically not getting any blood to my legs. Hence, my performance has just basically in the last year just gone down and down and down. So, what they can do in the operation is they essentially have to replace the bit of artery that is destroyed. And they do that by taking a vein from my leg and shortening, cutting the bad bit of artery off, shortening it, and then replacing it with the vein. And so they call it a vein patch or a vein graft. And so they basically cut in from the front, have to go all the way down to where the artery is, and yeah, replace it and then stitch you all up. So I have many, many, many internal stitches, which is another reason why the recovery is so long. Because, for example, now I can't lift anything for 9 weeks. December 21st, I can start lifting things. And that's mainly to do with all the internal stitches. Because if I burst one of those or break it, then that can mean the operation's a failure. So yeah, it's sort of being really, really careful for the next period as well.
Which also is going to be really difficult. We've spoken about this before. I can picture you when you're being told, okay, you need to rest. Your response would be, how many reps is that?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you a funny story. I went to the surgeon just before I left Holland, actually, and he was saying, yeah, with the recovery, you need to take it slow. It's really important, this and that. And then and I have to do a couple of walks a day just to keep the leg moving and that the artery doesn't get stuck in one position. And he said a couple of small walks, and then I questioned, what do you mean? How long is a long walk? What's my limit? And he just started laughing and said, typical athlete. And yeah, and then I went, well, I need to have a watch to measure my heart rate, because I can't have my heart rate over 100 either for the next 9 weeks until December 21st. Not that I'm counting. But yeah, that's been good and also bad, because yeah, now I'm looking, and every kilometer it tells me how fast I'm walking. So now every now and then I'm trying to do a PB, and then I have to think, no, it's not about this at the moment. So there's still that part of me that wants a goal or something to challenge me, but all within reason. So it's been a testing time, but I think in some ways just good to slow down a bit as well. And I'm trying to just embrace that.
It's a lockdown of a different kind. It's a physical lockdown. It's a below 100 beats per minute lockdown. One of the other things that's happened throughout your recovery has been the announcement of the course for the Tour de France next year. Clearly, that's going to be a pretty big target for you. What was your reaction to seeing the course overall, your general vibe on it?
Yeah, really excited. I think they've done a fantastic job. I like the fact that it starts with the sprint stages. We have some punchy stages, and it really finishes with that GC showdown on the last couple of days. I think we've seen in the Giro this year. It was actually they had the GC day on day 2, and then it was sort of just decided from there on in. So I think it's exciting that the yellow jersey realistically will change from rider to rider, probably 3, 4, 5 times, and then you really won't know who's going to win the Tour de France until that last stage. So I think that's really, really exciting. Yeah, all different sorts of courses. The gravel, I like gravel. I think it's a good challenge, and it's becoming, you're seeing it in more and more races now. So I do think it has its place. And yeah, I'm pretty pumped about it. I was talking to my coach yesterday, and I told him we had to stop talking too much about the calendar because I was getting too excited and my heart rate started rising. So
And that was on
no,
the couch.
yeah. So it's really it's definitely helping me get through this period as well, knowing that that's such a big goal for next year, or all of July really, with the Giro and the Tour.
Yeah, good. Because whenever I look at any tour, whether it be a 1 week tour or bigger tours than that in terms of length of time, I always think if I could only watch one stage, which stage would I watch? And for next year, for that tour, for the women's tour, it would be stage 4, the one across the gravel that you mentioned. Beautiful region through the wines, through the vineyards, and the gravel. I think that could be the one that really throws up a few surprises and has people that think they're okay, I can contend with the climbs, but I need to get some time on the other great climbers. That stage could be really interesting.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it so exciting, that it is catering to all different sorts of riders. And yeah, I think it'll suit an attacking rider, someone that's willing to be brave and go out there and put themselves out there. And there is certainly there's other stages with like really sharp climbs right towards the finish, where you see someone like Kasia Nuadoma. That's her sort of finish. You're already thinking of what riders could benefit from which stages. And I think, yeah, you're going to find everyone taking it really seriously. I'm already looking at the map, trying to figure out when I can go and recon the stages. So yeah, I think there's just this whole vibe of real excitement around the event.
Yeah. There's plenty of excitement around your team as well. There's been quite a few announcements at Bike Exchange, new riders signed to the team for next year. I want to focus on the 3 Australians that have been announced recently. 2 coming directly in effectively from the track program. Georgia Baker, she's kind of like back on the team as much as anything else. And Alexandra Manley. What can you tell us about those 2?
Yeah, I have to say I'm really, really excited about all 3 of the new old Aussies that are coming on the team. Georgia obviously was with us, but only for a really short time in 2017, and she already showed such great potential there. And yeah, I'm really excited to see, especially in the classics, what she's able to do. Alex Manley as well, when she was with the team, just she was progressing step by step. But when she was with us, I always thought, geez, I wish she would just commit to the road, because she could be so good. And so now I'm like so excited that she's back, and she said my priority is the road. They'll still do some track from what I understand, but the priority will be the road. And I really think she really has not shown what she can do. And I think she's, someone that can be really good in the hilly races as well. I see her similar characteristics maybe to someone like Anna van der Breggen, or this kind of rider that can be good in all sorts of races, and you're really excelling those hard races too. So that's exciting, I think.
And the third one is new to the team, also coming from a track program, but she's done plenty of racing on the road in the National Road Series, is Ruby Roseman Gannon. I'm a little biased because she's from my region. She's one that I think has got a huge future in the sport, and she's a great signing for the team.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I've seen Ruby particularly the last couple of summers in Australia racing, and 2 years ago when I did the Australian summers, she's someone I was just so impressed by. She was beating Chloe Hosking in some of the sprint stages, or, thereabouts, or almost beating her. And I think we all know Chloe's one of the best sprinters in the world. So that already said a lot what she can do there. And then watching what she did last summer against Sarah Gigante, she was there, almost holding onto the wheel of Sarah over the climbs. And I just think, having spoken to her as well, I just see that real drive, that passion, that willingness to learn, she's in it for the long run. And for me, that's something I've said exciting a lot in this podcast, but it is something really exciting for the team, for us. And I think she's going to go a long, long way in the sport, and really pleased that she's going to be my teammate.
You've touched on a few key things there. She can fight on all fronts. She was in the track program as part of the team's pursuit, and she might still make the team's pursuit squad for Paris. So she can time trial. She's shown that with her performances on the velodrome. She was almost holding on to Sarah Gigante in the climbs at the Adelaide Festival of Cycling last year, or earlier this year, I should say, and she was sprinting alongside Chloe Hosking. She can do everything. And
Yeah.
it is really impressive. Plus, she's just finished university. She's super intelligent. So she can come into it with university behind her, knowing that, well, if it doesn't work out, she's got plan B. And that gives her freedom to chase the dream, perhaps for even longer, and really nail it.
Yeah, spot on. And I think the other thing with Ruby is sometimes you see riders in Australia, they're really strong, and you think, okay, yes, they're really strong, but I'm not sure how they're going to go in the European peloton. It's pretty chaotic those especially those classic races or the big one day races. But for me, when I see Ruby and I see the way she races and gets through a peloton, then I also think for me, yeah, maybe there'll be a little bit of transition period, but I really don't see that as being an issue. And that's something, a huge asset that she has, I think, as well.
Yeah, she is the full package. Now, your test, you've still got a little while to go. Keep the heart rate under 100. When can you
82
get
we're
on?
at.
When can you get back on the bike?
Well, December 21st is the week that I can resume training, or I can be on a training program again. But I've been told in 3 weeks' time I will be allowed to get on my bike for 15 minutes on the trainer, which could then progress to an hour on the road if everything goes well. But I mean, I have to say, I put my shoes on yesterday and my heart rate got to 97. So I think, yeah, a few more weeks down the track, a few weeks of becoming less fit. I feel like I'll already be at 100 with one pedal stroke. So I could be on the bike, but it will be extremely slow.
Keep resting and get ready for 2022. I think it's going to be a big one, Spratty.